All right, gang, so today I'm working on the 78 Corvette, specifically the rear trim piece, also known as the halo piece. Mine's pretty bad right here, and I feel really insecure about when people come up to look at the car. I feel like this is the first thing they see. People have told me that they never noticed it, but maybe they're just being nice. But brand new, these halo pieces or rear trim pieces run about $360, $370 plus shipping. So I'm going to see if I can patch this. I really think I can patch this up. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I've done a lot of work to this Vet. I just finished up the new dashboard and posted a video about that. And next on the docket for today is see if we can do something about that. And just as a side note, if you've been following my channel, I'd love to get the Corvette out and show you in the daylight, but I can't. It's parked in right now because somebody, me, still hasn't opened up the Camaro yet this year. It does not have a space in the garage until I get my shop built, which will be one magical day. But until then, the Corvette is parked in until I open up the Camaro. Okay, so I have to start by removing my seat. There's 4 bolts that hold it to the floorboard, which I'm going to take out so that it can scoot all the way up, because it doesn't quite, scooting all the way up doesn't quite let me access that. And let me just stop right here and say, this video is not a how-to. This is for entertainment only. This is not an informational video. This is me doing my hobby project the way I see fit. And this is not to be used as information, but rather entertainment as I go through my processes and make a few jokes. And there's the back 2 that are holding my seat in place. Okay, so now that I've was able to take the seat out, not completely out, but just out of the way, I was finally able to access the end of the seat belt, and I hit it with my big breaker bar. All right, so gang, this is way worse than I thought. Way worse than I thought. My seat fell over. That's problem number 1. But problem number 2 is I didn't realize I took all the screws out, and I'll show where they're at here in just a second. And this upper rear trim, also known as halo piece, is somebody owned it before my daughter and before myself. I think they just glued this piece in, and I didn't realize it was completely broke. Had I realized that, I probably would have just ordered a new one. But I'm this far in, so yep, I'm committed to see what kind of damage I can do anyway. See if I can repair this or not. Okay, so I thought I'd record this. This is the trim piece, and snapped this out of the halo, and it slid past the seat belt fastener, and then this actually, the trim piece gone, actually slides through there, and then that's why I did all that, so that I can get this halo piece out, just like so, and I'll show you where the screws are. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I took out the corner piece, and then there's one more in front where my finger is. Okay, so let's get this to the workbench and see what we got. And here's what it looks like on the inside. If anybody's curious to see, once the halo's removed, this is what's happening inside there. Here's where your seatbelt's wound. I'm leaving that all alone, thank God. All right. Okay, so I have the pieces cleaned up, and I'm getting ready to mix up some Bondo, and I really don't know if this is going to work, gang, or not, but I'm keeping my video honest, and we're going to find out. So here's a little tip from your old pal 3AM. I bought this package at AutoZone And I like AutoZone just fine, it's no problem. But it's supposed to come with some wire mesh also, and it was missing. So somebody at the store had taken this lid off and taken it out. Luckily, I had some here in the garage from previous projects to fit there. But yeah, if you buy one of these kits, you might want to take the lid off and make sure everything's there like it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'll try to show this here the best I can. Let's start with exactly one dollop. No more, no less. Just to do the back side. Yeah, that's plenty actually. Okay. And I'm gonna add a little hardener in it. Yeah, looks like probably enough. Mix this really good. Get stuff out of my way here. I'll mix this up. And make sure you do this in a well-ventilated area if you do this. And wear a respirator too. Ugh. The fumes are terrible, absolutely terrible. Okay. Put that in there. Get this piece on where it's supposed to be, which is right there. All right, so put some of this on back here. And I'm going to sand all this once it's dry. Yeah, I should put my gloves on. Okay, so this is tricky because I have to take my glove off and on to hit the record button. I'm racing against the clock here. Cover this backside real good. I realize inside here has to be fairly smooth. It can't stick out too far or the piece won't fit into place. So I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding work. I'm going to smash that down a little more gooder than what I've got it. Okay, so I got the back side there, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It actually feels pretty sturdy already. I wasn't able to move fast enough, but with the camera between hit and record and all that, I wanted to run my finger through here and smooth this out a little bit, and I just didn't have time. It hardened up that fast. So I'm going to flip it around and do this same process to the front side. I'm not going to record that because I just don't have time to hit the record button and then hop, and it's got to happen pretty quick, but that was enough. You know, I captured enough. I just got to do it to the front side. And then after it hardens up completely, I'll probably use a rat tail file or something just to start working, just because this globbed up so much, just because I couldn't get here in time to it. So, but I do have the mesh buried in there. So I'm happy with how that's turned out. And it's actually stronger than I thought, but we'll take a closer look at it here. Okay, so I did 2 coats of Bondo on the back side and 2 coats on the top side. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I've got a lot of sanding work to do. I tried not to get too artistic, too sculpty with the Bondo. It's best just to, for me, it's just best to accept the fact that I'm going to have to sand and use my files and all that. And I'm really happy so far. with the strength. I'm actually really surprised. I think this is going to work. I'm shocked at how strong this is. I've done lots of projects with Bondo before, body work mostly, but yeah, that's really doing really well. Very happy with that. So next I'm going to be sanding. All right, so the Bondo's set up and looks like it's pretty cured. I've got a lot to work to do in here. I know this isn't going to be seen, but it needs to be flush for it to sit right. And so I'm going to start, I'm mostly going to use sandpaper, heavy grit sandpaper to start with, but I've got a heavy rat tail file that I am going to start with to get into this corner a little more gooder than what probably paper can do. Okay, so here I have some 60 grit sandpaper and a chunk of 2x4. I do have actual sandy block here somewhere, but I'm just sanding some more Bondo out of here and getting it smoothed out a little more gooder than what it is. And so I just wanted to show the audience. Just working down this Bondo. Okay, so I think I'm going to call this underside here, I think I'm going to call it done. I think I've got it pretty good. You can start to see some of that mesh show through, and so I think I'm going to move to the top side now. All right, so just getting the top side here. I didn't want to do this in the garage. It does make a mess, but the weather outside is pretty poopy, as the song goes. Try to shape this edge a little bit. All right, I think it's about time for some new paper. Okay, so I want to put this screw hole back in here before it gets long gone. And I can see I'm probably going to have to get the Bondo back out again. I want to put, this is just for the countersink here. Actually, I'm going to run it in reverse. For that, I'm just running the drill bit in reverse because I don't want it to take off on me. I just want to lightly shape. Yeah, something like that actually. All right, that's for this screw to sit down in. I think I need just a little bit of a bigger hole in there. Let's try. Try this. Okay, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay, so I do have some puck marks in there. And so I've got some more Bondo mixed up, and I'm just going to try to put a thin coat. I don't want to get, I've been in this situation before where I get too creative trying to make a finished product here and I end up in more trouble than what it's worth. So I just accept the fact that I'm going to have to sand, and that's the way it is. All right, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm going to leave this alone at this point. Yep, I'm just going to leave that, let that cure up, and then sand it again. Oh boy. Okay, for this last little bit, I'm going to 100 grit sandpaper, and then I might hit it with some 120 grit sandpaper as well. So I want to talk about the texture here coming up pretty quick. But basically going to be hitting this. All right. Okay, so I think I'm going to call that good and primer it and see what it looks like. I might have to sand down again a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what the primer looks like. The texture, this has a slight texture to it, and the way I'm going, this is going to be smooth. So I can either learn to accept that, or there's a couple options. They do make a textured paint, and what I can do is primer it, put the texture paint on, maybe primer again, I don't know, see how the texture looks, and then paint the finished color, start giving it 2 or 3 coats, but let that textured paint get underneath there. There's also an option that I've seen people do. I've done the textured paint stuff before, but I've never tried what I'm about to say, and that is where people have done truck bed liner. They've sprayed that and then painted on top of it, which gives it a heavy texture, which I already know will be too much for this project, but I just wanted to throw that out there as an option. There's no dumb ideas. As ideas develop, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I think I'm ready to clean this up and spray it with primer. All right, so from here, I'm just going to clean up the halo piece. I'm going to use some of this. And this down here is black. And, you know, yes, it would be nice to go ahead and repaint this, but then it won't match anything else. So I'm going to use some painter's tape and tape this off, and then just concentrate on this area, the dark blue. All right. Okay, so I did give this one more final wipe down, making it free of debris or any fingerprints. So I think I'm ready for the primer, and I've never used this primer before. So I just saw that was expert, and I figured, well, if you're not using expert, then maybe you should just go sit at the kids' table, okay? Let the grown-ups talk about things you're not ready to hear if you're not using expert. I don't know. All joking aside, I've never used this primer before, but we're going to find out how it works. I think it'll be fine, but anywho. Okay, so I have to do this quick. I don't have time to set up my camera stand. It's fixing to rain. I'm in between rain clouds right now, so I've got to do this quick. And so this is just me holding the camera, and the quick version is all I got time for right now. So I did want to set up my camera stand, but I'm just not going to be able to. Because honestly, I want to come back and give this another coat, see how it looks. Actually, hit this a little bit too. Yeah. All right. Okay, it's looking great. I'm really excited about how it's looking. All right, so a couple more coats of that. Okay, now that it's got a couple coats of primer, I can really see the imperfections. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. There's the trebled piece. I see that I do have one scratch there that didn't get filled or something, so I'll have to maybe hit that with some light sandpaper and see how that works out. But I'm very happy with the rest of it. I see, looks like I might need to sand this a little bit better. So you can see that right there. It's not crucial, but depends how picky-poopy a person wants to get with it. But, you know, hey, it's come a long way than where it was. So I'm really happy with it. And it is strong, too. It's I was banging around on it and stuff, making sure it still kept its strength. And I did a dry fit, too, by the way. I meant to show that, but I was in a hurry between rain clouds. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with the dry fit. Very happy with this project. I'm really thinking I made the right decision to not buy a new one and save the money for something else down the road. So yeah, very happy with that. Okay, so now I'm really gonna push my luck in between rain clouds and try to hit it with some Satan Midnight Blue, which is pretty close to the 78 blue. All right. Again, I'm trying to show this the best I can for everybody, and I'm doing it quick, and I'm doing it between rain clouds, and I don't want to get this first coat too thick. I just want to, I'm sorry for the shaky camera, the way I really am. I just wasn't able, I just missed disaster. I don't know if the camera saw it, but there was one of those dandelion seeds floating, and it just missed the project here. So I'm appreciative for that missing. All right. And next I'm going to hit it with some clear matte. And like I said, this is not a how-to. This is just how I'm doing my project. So that's all it is. All right. So I was able to get it in here. I was able to do this between raindrops and get it in the garage. And I tell you, in the right light, by which I mean no light, it looks perfect. But out here in the garage, I'm very happy with it. And this is just as strong can be. And it was worth every bit of saving my money, a little bit of time. And I got to install this next, and I'll show the end result, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just very happy with how this turned out. Yeah, totally glad I didn't spend my money on a new one. This is, I'm just really happy with this game. The strength of it and everything is just phenomenal. We'll get it in the car and we'll take a look at it. But there it is in the shop, and I was able to avoid the rain. Yay. Okay, so there it is back in the car, and everything's put together except for the seat. It is just sitting there, pun intended, because I'm going to hook up a quick disconnect for the battery. I'm always disconnecting the battery, and so I thought while I got the seat out, because the battery's behind the seat in Corvettes, I'm going to install a quick disconnect. So I'll probably make a video on it. But anyway, here is the end result. I'm very happy with how it turned out, especially the fact that I saved a few $100, and really happy with that. So the car is definitely getting there. Anyway, yep, there it is. It's back in. All right. And just real quick, the shop area of my garage, I finally got this in. I'm super pumped. It's a reproduction photograph of Jungle Jim, and I'm super pumped to have that in here. I got it framed, and I finally got that back, and so I just put it right there for now. But anyway, super pumped. I did a whole video on Jungle and Pam, Jungle Pam as well. Very complex people. I mean, I appreciate them more and more. You know, Pam was a real trooper, and anyway, yeah, I just thought it looked cool out here. Just FYI, I got my little helpers with me today. This is one of them. I got 3 helpers. This one here is involved with a lot of my projects and helping, so we appreciate Chip's help and everybody else. Oh, there goes the other one. All right. This is another one of my helpers. You've helped me for a long time with a lot of my projects, haven't you, guys? All right.